All right, we're still talking about the NCC's reversal of the tariff hike, and Wale Amin joins us now. Thank you for joining us, Wale. Wale, can you hear me, Wale?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, let's look at the NCC saying that although the tariff adjustment was proposed and provisionally approved by the management, pending the final approval of the board of the commission, and that in the end it did not have the approval of the board of the commission, and as a result it was reversed. One would wonder how the implementation commenced in the first place without the final approval.
Exactly my thoughts when I heard the news. It begs for an answer. The approval process put in place by the Nigerian Communications Commission, because you would expect that such enforcements would go through the appropriate channels, go through the appropriate approvals before the public get to hear about it. Mm-hmm. So us getting to hear about it, and then you now come back and tell us, oh, we've not gotten the approval of the board. It shows some level of disconnect somewhere. Mm. So we just hope that this would not hinder what's supposed to come from that process.
Mm. Well, looking at the statement now, it further explained that the increment was within the provisions of the existing price floor and price cap as determined for the industry. And it looks like this is in contrast with the earlier statement that it wasn't approved. Now they are backing it up, saying that it is in line with their price cap and all of that. Help us better understand what's going on here.
Yes, so it just... it looks like I said, it looks like there's a disconnect somewhere, and somebody is just trying to, validate what they have pushed out. Like I said, for such agreement, for such enforcement to have come out, you would expect that this would have gone through the appropriate channels. It would have been vetted by everybody that needs to, whose input needs to come, especially the board here, which is the overriding power and set up in the commission. But when we see these kind of things, it just, like I said, it just goes to show that there's a disconnect somewhere. Possibly somebody decided to go on with the announcement without following due process. So it just goes to show that there's so many things that are not right.
So this is looking more like damage control.
Exactly.
Well, you recall that the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Professor Ali Issa Pantami, had earlier obtained the approval of President Buhari for the suspension of the earlier proposed 5% excise duty to maintain a conducive, enabling environment for the telecom operators. And he had said that as much as there is an increase in the cost of production, that the provision of telecom services is still very profitable, and it is necessary that the subscribers are not subjected to a hike in charges. So where is all of this proposed hike coming from? They are speaking, looks like they're speaking from both sides of the mouth. You have said that it's not appropriate to increase or to raise, your tariff at this point. And now you're saying that, well, it's not, properly approved. On the other hand, you're also saying that it is in line with your price cap. Wale, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you come again?
Yes, we're looking at the fact that the Minister of Communication, Ali Issa Pantami, had earlier gotten approval of President Muhammadu Buhari to stop the 5% excise duty that they were going to impose earlier. And of course, he had said that because it's not appropriate to subject Nigerians to another hike due to the economic challenges being faced. And the question would be, where is this newly proposed hike coming from? Who initiated it? As a commission, you'd expect that there should be some form of agreement within the body.
Okay, so what I'm perceiving is happening or happened is that there is a break of communication between the Nigerian Communications Commission, and the minister himself.
Alisa Pantami.
The minister himself is, is the seeing head of the ministry. So the ministry itself, the commission rather, the NCC itself has its own bureaucracies, has its own leadership and structure. So I guess those are the commission just wanted to take off with this. But let's not also forget that the exercise duty is on one hand, the hike is on another. What the federal government, what Issa Pantami actually said was that they had removed the 5% excise duty in order to enable the net providers to be able to still stay profitable. So if they were saying if we have removed this, then there is no reason why you should bring up the 10% hike again. So like I said, it just shows that there was a break in communication. The commission wanted something. The minister of communication himself wanted something else, and so that is all of what we are saying, and that is coming.
But isn't that quite a paradox, having a lack of communication or a breach in communication in Nigeria's Communication Commission? Well, let's look at the fact that subscribers may be expecting a hike in the coming days, especially now that they are touting some backs and forths within the ministry or within the commission. Should Nigerians be expecting a hike in the coming days?
So far, I think the answer should be no, because again, you look at when we're looking at the issue of the increase itself, there's so many questions. On one hand, I'm looking at it as a consumer. On the second hand, I'm looking at it also as a business person. Yes, when you look at it from the side of the network providers, you would say that possibly there is a justifiable reason for a hike. But then also, like you said, the commission in its statement had said that at the rate at which the tariffs are still pegged right now, the network provider are still very profitable. So the question is, why are you doing that? So, but then again, we all know the context in which we are running in Nigeria. The rate of diesel is going up every day, petrol, so many things. The cost of production is on the increase on a daily basis. So I guess the network providers know what they are looking at. That has necessitated the increase. But then again, you look at it on the side of the consumer. You're telling yourself, how much is this justifiable? We're already paying so much. The truth is, we're already paying so much. So those two angles are the areas of conflict now. And I just hope that I'm hoping that we won't see this, and I'm hoping that the NCC will do what it ought to do. Instead of us seeing all of these back and forth in the public space, and we'll deal with the issue as such that there will be no implementation. Moreover, the top has already said, don't do this, don't implement this. So I think we are still on the safe side to a large extent. We just wait to see what happens in the coming days.
Well, let's look at Nigeria's telecoms market on a larger scale, which of course is the largest telecoms market in Africa, contributing over 17% to Nigeria's GDP. The industry is, however, not without its own fair share of challenges, from multiple taxation to over-regulations, vandalism, theft, right-of-way imbroglio, amongst others. How can we tackle these challenges and improve the sector?
Well, I think it all boils down back to the government that we have, the government of today. There's so much that still needs to be done. There's so much of hiccups that needs to be dealt with to make the Nigerian situation an enabling environment for businesses. Even not just the telecom sector now, businesses generally. If we look at the issue of power, one of the issues that they have even complained about, the network providers have complained, is the cost of running and maintaining the base stations. Diesel, like I mentioned, we all know how much diesel was going for just under 2-3 months back. We know how much it's going for at the moment. So when you look at that and look at the all the other costs, you mentioned vandalism. That's another issue. And then that also boils down to the poverty ratio, the poverty level in the nation, and all of that, we realize that it's actually a very deep and unique system that we're running. And we just hope that one day and very soon we can get to a point where we begin to deal with these issues. Because the truth also is that these are not one day issues that will, it's not something that's going to take just one day. These are things that we need to take, we take deliberate and successive actions on the part of government. Not just one day, not just 1 month, not just 2 months now. We're looking at a cohesive and coherent, continuous plan, improvement plan in all sectors. Talk about transportation, talk about power, talk about, all areas, employment. When we talk about vandalism, what is the root cause of vandalism? We had it on the news just a few days ago. Tankers were, illegal bunkering was discovered. The question is, what is the root cause of those issues? So we need to deal with these issues from the roots.
All right.
And like I said, this is not just going to take a day. It's going to take us years. So I just pray and I hope that we will begin that process in due time, so that we all stop suffering. Because
Let's anchor the conversation there, Wale Amin. Thank you so much for sharing your insights on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, have a great weekend. We've been speaking with Wale Amin. He is founder of mydatastreams.com.ng. Now, still to come after the break, tech startups operators in Nigeria are in for a fresh breath as the Nigeria Startup Bill has now been passed into law. Now, this is our focus next on the show as we take a closer look at the opportunities for businesses and youth in the country. We'll be right back.